Was you wondering what I had in the shop today? Brush hog, king cutter. She's a beaut. You might see there's a piece missing right here. Like the piece that your gearhead's supposed to bolt to. Somebody cut that out of there. I guess was commencing to try to fix the thing. And they quit on it. I don't know what happened. But this is the piece. That's the piece right there that was cut out of there. And you can see why they cut it out of there, because it ain't supposed to be like this here and that there. So the fellow that bought this brush hog, he brought it to me, and he also brought me this plate. And this is probably a really strong plate, because this is like this fifth wheel plate off like a tractor trailer fifth wheel. So you see what, you know, there would be a ball going through that. So this is probably not mild steel. This is probably high tensile steel. It's probably really good stuff. So we're going to use this to make one of them and weld it on that. And then to put this here king cutter back in action. So let's do it. So we're looking good on this. That's what we come up with. Don't need that hole there. That's from where a fifth wheel pin would have went through that plate, but it ain't gonna hurt nothing. So we need to get this thing put on over there. Get that dude's nation done. It's an inch, pretty much, pretty close to an inch. I used some scrap 1-inch tubing set under here to get that plate set pretty much where it needed to be, and I adjusted it from there based on where I could see the metal that was cut off before. and got it flush with the metal that was cut off before, and there was a little bit more metal on this part, and it caused me to need to, I'd had to do, you see where I did a little trimming right here, but we're in there good. And another thing, that a couple parts that I cut is these flat bars right here. And the fella, when he showed me this, what he wanted done, he was saying, well, that plate can just be flat. It doesn't need to be bent like this. I don't care if you bend it like that or not. Well, I can't bend it like that. This is thicker than what my brake would bend. But I didn't hesitate much on telling him that that plate just flat right there is not nearly as strong as this plate with these bends in it. So I can see how a guy, you know, might not think that those bends are important, but I tell you what, the amount of strength that's added to that plate by them two bends is considerable. So I advised him, I told him that, you know, I'm going to have to add something to the sides to stiffen it up, and that's why I cut these 1-inch flat bars. So I've got a couple of 1-inch flat bars. They're 1/4 inch thick. And I'm going to put them up here. And of course, I'll have to do a little fitting and tack and goof with it. But that's what I'm going to fasten on there. And that'll stiffen that plate quite a bit. That's all welded up. I'm going to put this thing together, and I just took and put a little bit of paint on the part there that, you know, we can't paint later. I don't know if he wants to paint the whole thing or not, but I had a spray can of yellow, so I put some there, and I'm going to go ahead and put this gear head on.